Oh man, I just love it. It's like a perfect, well-explained little like podcast nugget right in, right there. Hard hitting, simple, brilliant. Welcome to the Bible in 1 Year podcast, brought to you by two Brits and aBible.
Today is day 271, covering Haggai 1 and 2.
Well, Haggai, old Haggers.
Hmm.
So written around about the 520 BC mark, roughly 70 years after the collapse of Jerusalem. And this was after the Babylonians had been overthrown, and it was then the Persians in control at this stage. And they were the ones that sort of welcomed the Israelites back, and that we can see about in the book of Ezra that we read about. And it's kind of Haggai calling out everyday people for prioritizing themselves and their own families over God and what's going on there. He references stuff like Isaiah, Micah, Leviticus, and I love it because he's obviously very good at speaking to and encouraging people in a way that's like really understandable, which is, hey, works for me. And a lot of it's about how our choices matter and our obedience is key, and we need to move to action out the back of it. So that's a little bit of Haggai.
Yeah, as always, good summary there, Mr. Peters. Good stuff. So diving straight in, Haggai 1 verse 4. Is it a time for you yourselves to be living in your panelled houses while this house remains a ruin? So a bit like what you were saying, calling out the people for rebuilding their family dwellings and stuff over the temple. It's a very interesting point. I've been trying to get my own house in order. I sent a video actually to Adam literally today of me jackhammering out the shower area because I'm putting in a curbless shower in my bathroom, right? But as I'm getting my house in order, I sort of need to remind myself that it should really be something that glorifies God, that I go to that relationship first. I try to pray at the start of each day. I'm not brilliant at it before I start working on the house, but just remembering that it's really about prioritization, right? Putting God first, asking God for help and blessing as you're doing that sort of thing. Yeah, that's about all I wanted to say.
Dude, very relevant and very true. So love that, man. Haggai 1 verse 6, you have planted much but have harvested little. Then it goes on to say, you earn wages only to put them in a purse with holes in it. And I think there's such truth in that. And I love how applicable that is, like thousands upon thousands of years later as well, because I find that true. I find it like I'll go through stages, like obviously working in sales and commission-based sales, where I'll have a really good month and I'll make a lot of money, but then there'll be months where I don't make as much. And I find that I'll get to a really good spot sort of financially, but then somehow that money disappears again. And like, yes, I have investments and stuff like that, and I tithe and what have you, but we just need to be careful when we make money, when we come into money, not to just fritter it away, to be sensible with that money.
Absolutely. Yeah, dude, 100%. It's interesting as well. I was reading some Matthew today in preparation for like next week's recordings, right? And God is talking about how you can't serve two masters. You can't serve him and money and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's really like, that doesn't mean that we're not to like use money as a tool, but at the same time, like in a weird way, not, this might be a process of God trying to get people to stop relying on money and start relying on him more, because that's what it's all about, really, right? Like,
Yeah, true.
doesn't really matter how much money you have. I mean, even when Jesus sends out the disciples, again, I'm quoting Matthew, he's just like, don't even take any money or anything with you, you know?
Yeah.
So learn to rely on me. And I'm terrible at that. I need to work on that a lot.
That's fair. It kind of fits into the next point as well, which is what you were saying, because Haggai 1:9, which is basically saying, my own house remains a ruin while each of you is busy with his own house. And that's again God being like, hold on, you're all doing your own thing, but what about mine? And I guess it makes sense that you want to build a roof over your own head before you go and do the temple, because you don't live in the temple. But more about prioritizing God in all things, and then the rest of it falls into place because you're putting God first. So no matter the practical logistics of that, put God first.
Right. It's fruits of the spirit as well, right? Like, so, you know, you could be working on your house for certain hours and then working on the temple. And that can be symbolic as well, obviously, right? Working on, you know, I'm working on my house, but I also try and carve out some time to read Bible and pray and stuff. I think That's a big part of it as well, the heart posture.
Yeah.
Anyway, so Haggai 2:14, Haggai said, "So it is with this people and this nation in my sight, declares the Lord. Whatever they do and whatever they offer, there is defiled." What's interesting is we can now rest in knowing that our work can actually be purified through Jesus's righteousness, but we have to give it to him, right? So all of our work is like dirty rags or filthy rags or whatever the translation you want, right? And that always sort of bothered me. I was like, what? Nothing I do can ever be clean. And then I read more about it and understood, no, it's pre-Jesus, your stuff is like filthy rags. Yeah. Once you have Jesus, once you have Holy Spirit, then things that we do are not defiled, are not filthy rags. Can be righteousness in there because of Jesus' computed righteousness onto us.
Very true. Very true. I had that same point, but I brought in more of the context of it, which is, and I kind of love it. This is where at the intro I was saying about Haggai explaining stuff really well, because I think he explains this fantastically. Because basically he asks the priests, if a person carries consecrated meat in the fold of his garment and that fold touches some bread or stew, does that become consecrated? And the priests say, no, it doesn't. So obviously any consecrated meat that you're holding can't consecrate something else. And then he said, if a person is defiled by contact with a dead body and touches one of those things, bread, stew, wine, whatever, does it become defiled? And they say, yes, it does. So that's where he's saying, so it is with this people and this nation, whatever they do, whatever they offer is defiled. So it's like people can't become holy because I'm holy, but if I'm defiled, that can spread into other people. So the sacrifices that I'm making, they are no longer like perfect sacrifices. They are defiled. They are the second best. They are what's left over rather than the best of what we're supposed to be giving Jesus.
Right.
And it kind of like you were saying, I think earlier this episode was, it reminds of Jesus when he's talking about the food that enters the body isn't what defiles you, it's what comes out that defiles you. And it's exactly that. Oh man, I just love it. It's like a perfect, well-explained little like podcast nugget right there. Hard hitting, simple, brilliant.
Yeah, I love that, dude. That's awesome. Okay, so I've actually only got one more point myself. So Haggai 2 verse 23, on that day declares the Lord Almighty, I will take you, my servant Zerubbabel, son of Shealtiel, declares the Lord, and I will make you like my signet ring, for I have chosen you, declares the Lord Almighty. Now, this isn't so much a point as this is above my pay grade moment. So it's the end of the book, and it says that Zerubbabel has been chosen. But what did that mean? What was he chosen for? I'm not sure. So I'm sort of bringing it as a question mark, actually, this one. Maybe we've got apologetics.
A bit of time. Let's see what the old apologetics Bible has to say. Where am I? Haggai. That is before
Haggai 2:23.
After Zephyr's.
Yeah.
Before Zechariah's.
Yeah.
Right, Haggai. Where are you? There you are, pal. Oh, balls. No, it doesn't say.
Nothing on 2:23?
No. There's like no apologetics notes here.
Maybe they were also just shrugging their shoulders and going, oh, I don't know why Zerubbabel was chosen. Well, the only other place I could have a quick look is going to be enduringword.com. Normally I do look up my questions, in fairness, but this one I didn't.
Yeah.
So I'll just have a really quick look. I love how we're just filibustering our way at the moment.
Legitimately, let's get close to 10 minutes at least.
Yeah. So it says, this is not a personal assurance only to Zerubbabel, for neither he nor his natural seed reigned in Jerusalem or rose to any special thing. Zerubbabel was truly chosen of God. He's included in the ancestry of Jesus as the grandson of King Jeconiah, descendant of Solomon. Zerubbabel was in the line leading to Joseph, the adopted father of Jesus. There is also a man named Zerubbabel in the line of Mary, but it seems to be different to this man. So yeah, not really sure, above our pay grade. If you have any ideas, people, comment, and like and subscribe at 2 Brits and a Bible. What are we reading tomorrow, Mr. Peters?
Tomorrow we're into Zechariah, aren't we? Zechariah 1 through 7. Thank you very kindly, beautiful people. Pick up Bible, read,